John Miller Field here at Circle Tap, Blair Setford, Luciano Lafrano, Joe Todd will be stepping in. This is the AHI Reapers with a 1-0 lead over the ELMIRA EXPOS. Bottom of the first inning, we are still working out some of our kinks, but thanks for joining us in this test broadcast of the 2023 ISC World Tournament here at Circle Tap. Luis Amaya is pitching for the Reapers. Rick Thompson's out on left, Jeff Miller center field, Will Paulo in right, Eric Riesterer, Franco Ortolado, Drew Perez, Brian Hansen around the horn for the Reapers, Luis Amaya and Alejandro Villalobos behind the plate for the AHI Reapers, just down the road in Kimberly, Wisconsin. In the top of the first for the Reapers, Ortolado tripled, scored on a fielder's choice. They had him at the plate, but Travis Martin unable to squeeze the throw in from Scott Levis at first, so Ortolado scored on that fielder's choice. Starter Kirk Santala gave up a single to Keenan Smith, but then struck out Villalobos, Perez, and Paulo to end the inning. AJ Moses countered with a triple of his own, leading things off for the Expos here in the bottom of the first inning. Zach Berg just went down on strikes, and that brings Tim Freeman to the plate. Dan Martin, that's cleanup for the ELMIRA Expos, and you're caught up in one fell swoop as some test action on the ISC network. Blair Setford, Joe Todd. Just tuning in, we're just on the air in the last 60 seconds. We're still working out some of the kinks on the camera angles and the audio. Bear with us. We'll be up for good for the 6 p.m. Central game. Circle Tap Dukes taking on the Alvinston Aces in that one. We're watching some of the other scores around us in the game immediately preceding this one. A bit of an upset as the Bar Buzz 2-0 winners over San Antonio Glowworm. We've got our first extra inning game. Notre Dame Clubs out of Winnipeg, Grand Valley Expos from Ontario. Those two teams are scoreless in the 10th inning. Brady Woods for Notre Dame, Luke Zettel for Grand Valley, locked up in a pitcher's duel. That's at Denmark. And the other score that was ongoing, just check on that one for you. At last check, Pegasus Redmen were trailing in that one 5-3. It is still 5-3 for the Northwest Braves over the Pegasus Redmen. So you can catch up on all the scores. The ISC website, iscfastpitch.com. There's a score ribbon right on the home page. And you can follow along with live scoring from all of the games. There's a walk to Tim Freeman. So runners on the corners for ELMIRA. We'll invite Joe Todd up into the booth as we're still working out some of the kinks on the camera angles and such, but wanted to get some action for you. Dan Martin at the plate, batting cleanup for the Expos. He's done that, Joe, for about the last 10 years, it seems like. Dan Martin, one of the mainstays on this Expos squad.
Great RBI guy.
Well, he's the guy you want at the plate with a couple of runners aboard. Villalobos has got a real good arm behind the dish, so don't expect to see Freeman going anywhere. Called strike 3, and Martin down on strikes for the second out of the inning. Luis Amaya, Joe, one of the harder throwers on the circuit. He's got good gas. He's got all the pitches, too.
Yeah, he's got the full package.
This will be a bit of a stern test for the Expos, but they've seen lots of hard throwers on the tournament circuit over the years.
Well, it's important to get that run in from third base here for AJ after that leadoff triple, especially after AHI putting that run on the board.
Swing and a miss there by Dave Bearclaw. Dave's out in left for the Expos today. Had a notion to go after that one, but held up. They want to ask down at third. And
Trevor topping.
is it Trevor on third?
Yeah.
I think Trevor's on first.
Oh, they moved him then. Okay. Mark Horace then is over at third base.
Steve Corvo on the dish from Quebec. Trevor is Ontario. Where's Mark Horace from? Do you remember?
I think Missouri. I have my notes in my binder.
So we will get to additional cameras. There you see the center fielder one getting added in. Great center field shot. That is going to be our mainstay here this week. Luciana Lafrano from Softball TV, Carol Dureste, she'll be out on the action camera shortly. And a walk will load the bases. Yeah, and just a reminder, everybody, this is a test game. We are adding the cameras as we get them dialed in. But we wanted to bring you this game as a test for our fans in Ontario and here in Wisconsin. Two big fastball hotbeds, Joe.
Yes, we have a lot of followers here.
Got to dump the audio. Back, folks, and when they play the live music here, as they do a lot at the park, you're going to have to bear with us as we have to dump our audio. We'll get shut down by Facebook and YouTube for unlicensed music, and so that's going to be something you'll have to bear with us this week. It'll sneak in a little bit here and there, but if you hear the music in the background, it's probably because we weren't quick enough to shut down our audio stream.
Jamie Wick now at the plate for ELMIRA Expos.
Jamie's a designated player for the Expos this afternoon. Out of Elmira, Ontario, just west of Kitchener, Joe, a little northwest. Maybe?
Northwest, yep.
In the feet of Villalobos, can't find it, but...
Jamie, I think, actually lives in Sebringville.
Well, which is further west of
closer
Kitchener.
To Stratford area.
Stratford, Ontario.
Big situation here. RBI's on the board.
Chases that rise ball upstairs. That is Amaya's bread and butter. He really turns up the wick on that rise ball, Joe, when he brings it. Gets a lot of strikeouts with that pitch.
Well, and now he saw Wick's weakness, so he'll probably go right after that.
Sounds like you got the scouting report on Jamie Wick, too. I'd be calling time if I were Wick, yeah. Right down NN Highway, Joe Todd, for called strike three. Wick can't get the bat off the shoulder. The Expos leave the bases loaded in the top. Will break. We'll be back. we're back here on the ISC network. If you're just tuning in, it is the top of the second inning. AHI Reapers out of Kimberly, Wisconsin, not too far from here in the Fox Valley. They're up 1-0 on the ELMIRA EXPOS. ELMIRA from southwestern Ontario, just outside of Kitchener, where we've been with the ISC World Tournament several times over the years. It's Blair Setford with Joe Todd here on the ISC network. Our test broadcast as we are finalizing all the camera angles, getting things dialed in. Luciano is in and out of the booth, getting all the receivers set up where he wants them. Carol Dureste will be up on the action camera shortly. You can see that great center field shot that's mounted right beside the scoreboard and peers down onto the diamond. Just a tremendous view from center field here at John Miller Field at Circle Tap Bar and Grill, just outside of Denmark, Wisconsin. It's the 77th annual ISC World Tournament. This is the ISC Network. Blair Setford and Joe Todd will be with you all week as we bring you everything from Circle Tap, the main diamond. The bulk of the winners bracket games will be held here. Joe, that's a leadoff single for Rick Thompson. Rick is the sponsor, the manager, the chief cook and bottle washer for the Reapers.
Probably washes the uniforms.
I suspect he does. He does it all. Believe it or not, Joe, Rick literally came to life here at Circle Tap. His mom went into labor while his dad was playing in a tournament here at Circle Tap. So
Great
you can say
story.
that he was born into this game at this park. I talked to Rick about an hour ago, a little bit further maybe, and he was so excited, just couldn't wait for this game to get started. He's so happy to be playing here literally where he was almost born, and he's been waiting for this tournament for the last couple of years since it was announced that we were coming back to Circle Tap. And Rick is a new addition to the ISC as well as a new commissioner in the Wisconsin area.
A welcome addition. Love to see some youth, younger guys coming in, showing us some new thoughts, giving us some brighter, fresher ideas.
Well, we're certainly we could certainly use some youth, couldn't we?
Yes.
So Rick Thompson out at first on that infield single. Brian Hansen at the plate. He'll be followed by Eric Reisterer. For the Expos defensively, Dave Bearclaws out in left, AJ Moses in center. Thompson on the move, showing some wheels. Back swipe with the tag. And Kevin Ward puts the backward swipe onto Rick Thompson, who is looking to go to New York for the instant replay, but we don't have that available, Rick.
But a great tag by Ward.
Yeah, good thinking there by Ward, because his momentum was taking him past the bag, reaching back with the glove. Dan Martin is out in right field. Tim Freeman, Zach Berg, Kevin Ward, we just talked about him. Scott Lelis out at first for the Expos. Kirk Santala is the starter. He's pitching to Travis Martin. Jamie Wick, the designated player for ELMIRA. Joe, Kirk Santala, we were both maybe a little bit surprised as your starter.
Yes, I was. And he had a real rough start, too. But Santala's pitched a couple of real good games for the Expos during the summer program for them. And I'm not sure what the train of thought was by the Expos management staff, but Santala did get the ball. And 3 hits in a row there led off that first inning. And now we got a leadoff single, but Thompson was thrown out at first base. So Santala really trying to keep that low number of base runners out there.
Well, he came roaring back after the triple, the run, and the single. Came roaring back and picked up 3 straight strikeouts.
Amaya matched it with 3 strikeouts on his side.
Swing and a miss. There is the last out. I think it was a strikeout, throw him out on the stolen base, and then Reister here down on strikes as well, Joe. So what turns out to be a 3-up, 3-down inning. We'll dump the inning, and we'll be back shortly.
Whether you want to improve your grip in wet conditions or just to find the control you've been looking for, the Gorilla Gold Grip Enhancer has become the most recommended name in softball and in every sport where grip plays an important role. Gorilla Gold is the only grip enhancement approved by the ISC, ASA, and NCAA.
Hello, my name is Michael Holobradek. I'm from Czech Republic, playing for Hill United Chiefs, and I'm using Gorilla Gold.
My name is Pablo Miguelvaca from Argentina, and for every game I use Gorilla Gold.
Hola, mi nombre es Samuel Villalbazo, pitcher de la Selección de México, y en todos mis juegos uso Gorilla Grip.
Hi, I'm Adam Folker. I play for the Hill United Chiefs from Australia, and I've been using Gorilla Gold my whole life. My name's Jack Vesco from Australia, and I can't pitch without Gorilla Gold.
Gorilla Gold, the feel for the game.
Scott Lelis will lead things off for ELMIRA Expos here, bottom of the second inning. The Expos trailing 1-0. You see the score up there. That is fouled off at the plate. Joe, you and I have been around long enough to remember when the ELMIRA Expos were the young upstarts. They're a lot of them anyway, the grizzled veterans now.
Yes. Well, this team actually probably started as a midget or a juvenile team back in mid-90s, probably.
Well, you're dating yourself with the juvenile reference. I don't think we've had that division since the 70s, Joe. So,
I believe they went to Saskatchewan.
They did. They won the Canadians
as a group.
Midgets, and stayed together, come up into the ISC ranks, and they have been a real good middle team. They have upset some big teams over the years. They've played a lot of close games against the Gremlins and the Hill Uniteds and the Toronto Gators and the Toronto Batmen and Bear Creek Express. They've put a scare into everybody over the years.
I like the unis.
I am a big fan of the Montreal Expo throwback look. They won Best Dressed a couple of years ago for the powder blue version. There you see the kind of weather pattern that we've got here at Circle Top. It is a gorgeous day here. I want to say mid-20s Celsius, probably low 70s for you Fahrenheit fans. Some clouds in the sky. There's a nice breeze to keep things sane. It's just an absolutely banger of a day in Denmark.
And we hope for 7 more to come.
Wouldn't that be spectacular? The grounds here, Joe, just look immaculate. The field is in tremendous shape. High hopper foul. The stands are starting to fill up for the afternoon affair. We've got 4 Wisconsin teams that are on the diamond at 2, 4, 6, and 8. We started with the Bar Buzz from Appleton down in Fox Valley. It's not too far from Kimberley, the home of the AHI Reapers. That one is flied out to left, and given chase is left fielder Rick Thompson, but that actually falls in fair. And coming in, and they're going to give him the wave. Here's the play at the plate and in safe with an inside the park home run. Scott Lelis goes coast to coast to coast. Just kept running. They just kept waving him around. And Joe, here it is down in left field. It kind of rattled around out there, and the head first slide, and we got ourselves a tie ball game.
Well, great wheels there by Lelis, rounding those bags and circling those bags, tying this game up early.
Well, he might need some oxygen now. A.J. Moses flies around the bases. I don't know about Scott Lelis, but he made it. He made it. It wasn't Alejandro Kirk coming around third there, but nonetheless, we got ourselves a tie ball game. And speaking of games here, Joe, I see Grand Valley Looks like somebody must have hit a 2-run home run, as they're going to win 2-0 in the bottom of the 11th. So congratulations to the other Expos here in the tournament. Their ISC World Tournament debut. Grand Valley Expos coming out of the Ontario Challenge Cup last fall. And it looks like they are 2-0 winners over the Notre Dame clubs from Winnipeg, Manitoba. Grand Valley West, and maybe even further north than ELMIRA, Joe, from Kitchener.
Yeah, more up in the Orangeville area.
Yeah, I think they're west of Orangeville,
Yeah.
even. Yeah, they're in that inter county league that plays in that area. Orangeville and Arthur and Rockford and a couple of other places. Travis Martin down on strikes. So congratulations, Grand Valley X. Yes, that is correct. That one, it looks like it's done. Bar Buzz, we mentioned 2-0 winners over Glowworm.
Bar Buzz scored those runs early in the game.
Yeah, they got 2 in the top of the first and made it stand up. Joel Goodall had a 2 RBI double in that one for the Bar Buzz. And Northwest Braves, 5-3 winners over the Pegasus Redmen. Another team from the Winnipeg area are the Pegasus Redmen. Northwest Braves from Oregon, I believe, or Washington State.
Yes, and we'll have to check that out.
I want to say Oregon. As mentioned, the score ribbon is right on the home page of the ISC Fastpitch website, iscfastpitch.com. Rosters are available, and you can check all those out on the tournament page of the ISC website. Kevin Ward at the plate for the Expos. That's upstairs.
Meyer seems to be laboring on something.
He's huffing and puffing a little bit out there, isn't he? Chopper on the infield. That's going to get nabbed by the shortstop, who went way over in the hole. Franco Ortolato went way over in the hole to get that. I was about to say in the 5.5 hole, but no play from that deep.
Just a great
good range
ball
to go
get
get
to.
it. Yeah. Kevin Ward aboard with that infield single. So back to the top of the shop for A.J. Moses, who had a triple of his own. First pitch swinging, he lashed it down the right field line. It rattled around in the corner. And A.J. into third, standing up.
Expos stranding those 3 runs back in that bottom of the first inning.
Yeah, I'm sure that wasn't the way they wanted to start, but nonetheless, a bit of a break on that inside the park home run by Scott Lelis to tie things up. Yeah, that's way upstairs from Amaya. And yeah, Joe, I don't know if he just doesn't like the landing area or if he's... You're absolutely right. He just does seem to be laboring out there a little. I know he throws every weekend, and I just wonder if maybe he's got a bit of a cold or something, and that's affecting his breathing. In tight to Moses. Just wants to know from home plate umpire Steve Corriveau if that's as far as he's going to go inside. And Corriveau said, "Yep, that's it." Fouled off. You see the flags out in right field, right in front of the tent for Mexico, for New Zealand, Canada, and the United States. That's home countries of all of the teams here in the tournament this week. Mexico, Monterrey, Mexico is home to the Oma Tigre, sponsored by Oma Trucking. Auckland Blue Sox are here from New Zealand. They participated in the 21 and under tournament that went this week. They finished third. They beat the USA 18 and under team last night. Joe, in a barn burner of a game. That was an 11-7 affair. Back and forth, back and forth. Auckland finally won out. 7 pitchers in total used by both teams in that game. Chopper on the infield, and that clanks off the glove of Drew Perez. Moses will get up to first base on the infield error. Drew Perez played that off the side. You see it here in the replay. He's got to go run that down. Zach Berg. And this guy's a nice little pickup for the Expos, Joe. He spent time with the Bear Creek Express last year, but was going to be a spare part this year. Opted to come over to the Expos, where he's going to play full time and get the opportunity to get a lot of at-bats. And that's a great opportunity for a good young player. That hits him on the arm, and down to first he'll go.
Berg hails from the Tavistock area.
Another hotbed of fastball in Ontario, as we call it. Tim Freeman to the dish. Tim worked a walk in the first. And Berg is now feeling the effects of getting grazed by that Amaya pitch. And Joe, we talked about Luis Amaya. He throws it hard. We don't have a gun out today, but I know Luis Amaya breaks into the 80s when he cranks it up.
It's got a real peculiar wind-up. To me, he almost like he hiccups somewhere in this. See, he double pumps there somewhere along the line as he releases the ball. I'm sure he's just trying to throw off the timing of the batter.
That's exactly what it is. It's a timing mechanism for Luis. And you watch again, his right arm, it's almost like a stutter right there.
Yep.
Chris Wilson, I don't know if you remember Chris Wilson from late 90s.
Oshawa area.
Chris was from the Oshawa area, that's right, and pitched down here for County Concrete, as they were known back then. He used to stop almost as he was coming off the board. Chris, amongst the hardest throwers back then, too. Tragically, we lost Chris in a car accident. I want to say 97 or 98. 98, I think. Swing and a miss there. Down goes Freeman. And they do not, Joe, want to leave the bases loaded twice in succession. 5 strikeouts already for Luis Amaya. Danny Martin to the dish. Danny caught looking in this kind of situation back in the first.
Amaya accounting for all outs for the HI Reapers so far in the game.
Can't catch up to the rise ball there. Danny Martin has 19 ISC World Tournament pitching wins. He's been stuck on that number, Joe, for a couple of years now.
Well, Danny got beat at the first time at the plate. We'll see if he can kind of get the better of Amaya here.
He's in a hole 0-2. Fouls that one off right into the glove of Villalobos. Chases the waste pitch. 1-2-3. Down goes Dan Martin. Down go the Expos. We got ourselves a tie ball game. Back here at John Miller Field, Circle Tap Bar and Grill on the outskirts of Denmark, Wisconsin. Blair Setford, Joe Todd on the ISC network. Our test broadcast as we finalize all the settings. We get the cameras dialed in, the transmitters, the receivers, the angles, the shots. There you see the great center field shot that our crack producer, Luciano Lafrado, Softball Premier TV, happy to be back in the saddle with Luciano. Did a great job all summer with the Gremlins Network. Worked with us on the ISC Canada East qualifier, the Chiefs Challenge, back in June. Jim Flanagan doing a great job with Luciano on the Gremlins Network all summer long as they brought you more of the ISC tournament circuit than we've ever seen. And it is fantastic to be bringing you top flight men's fast pitch softball from all over North America. This one is lifted up and foul. Good crowd is already building here at Circle Tap. The home team, Circle Tap Dukes, will be on tap, so to speak. You see what I did there, Joe?
Yeah, very good.
They'll be on tap at 6 p.m. We're going to milk that one for all it's worth. Joe, some history here as we use the yellow optic ball for the very first time at the ISC World Tournament. That was approved last year. It is the same ball, the Worth K-Master. It is still the cork center. It's the leather hide, but it's now in optic yellow. And it was a big switch for the ISC. It was several years in the making. The yellow ball is widely used all over North America. It is used in international play. We were amongst the last to make the switch, and I noticed they were using up the supply of white balls in the 21 and under tournament that just wrapped up yesterday. That's probably amongst the last of the supply for the white balls, and those will be gradually phased out, I think, as Santella records another strikeout. But it is the first here at the ISC World Tournament using the optic balls here, and we'll use them on a go-forward basis. The other thing that's new here, Joe, and you see it down at first base, you can just see it in foul territory, is the safe base. Another rule change that was made last year at the tournament at the annual Board of Directors meeting and approved for play. We have not used that up until this year. And that was a bit of a bone of contention, but
to me, both great improvements.
I agree wholeheartedly, and I'm glad that we're moving forward with those. At the same time, there are some other changes that were discussed and have not been approved, and we'll chat maybe about those over the course of the week. But incremental steps.
Yeah.
Inside, and that brushes Jeff Miller, or did it? It didn't. I thought it just brushed him, but it looks like he's going to get called back to the plate.
Jeff didn't sell it well.
Got to attend the acting classes. Jeff, center fielder for the AHI Reapers, had themselves a good season. They play a very competitive season, Joe. They play in a lot of the big tournaments, the Boys of Summer, the Summer Cup that goes on in the Midwest area. They go over to Minnesota, they go over to Iowa, they play here in Wisconsin, and it's a real good confidence booster for this team as this is skied out to left, and Dave Bearclaw will haul that one in. The Reapers are 15-15-1 on the year.
A lot better start here for Santella. It's the first inning that a base runner hasn't reached so far. That leadoff batter in the first and second inning both got on base, so.
Pitch out of the zone from Kirk Santella. Joe, Wasn't long ago, maybe 2016, I want to say, so 7 years ago. I guess it is a little bit. Kirk Santala pitching for the Quebec Juniors, and they won the Canadian Championship that year in Tavistock. Upset, I want to say, Oshawa in the championship game.
Yes, I think you're correct.
I think I did that game.
Yep.
It was a bizarre ending, I remember that much. It was like an inside the park home run or something like that that they ended up winning the game on. Oshawa, I thought, was going to win that game, and Quebec come back and scored 2 in the bottom, and just a crazy ending.
Well, Santella lived in my hometown of Ingersoll for 2 years as he attended Conestoga College, worked at the Ontario Hydro College, or Hydro Lineman course, and now works for Ontario Hydro.
And he's been a mainstay in the southwestern Ontario fastball scene with the Shakespeare Falcons, and then moved over here to the Expos. That one is laced foul, and I'm parked down there. I will not be happy, Mr. Smith, if that is anywhere near my vehicle. I backed it up a little bit, so I was hopefully blocked out by the car beside me. Sorry, it's entirely selfish, but that's my car. Joe, I see a lot of smoke from the barbecue down in right field. We'll have to make our way down there, maybe get a cup of booyah, the Wisconsin mix between chili and soup. There's a little flare. That's going to die on the grass in center field, and aboard with a base hit. His second of the game is Keenan Smith. Keenan. Man, I thought it was Keenan. Designated player for the Reapers. Alejandro Villalobos, catcher for the Reapers, now to the plate. This one goes up in the air. Travis Martin can't find it. Smith will help himself to second base. That got a bite out of Steve Corriveau. He's flexing that left knee too. So Trevor Topping comes in and has no sympathy whatsoever for Steve Corriveau. Don't rub it, I think is what Trevor said. As he scoots back in behind first base.
Santella beat him on drop balls first time through, so we'll see if he comes back with that.
Upstairs. And doesn't chase the drop there from Kirk Santella.
Well, hitters count here now with a runner in scoring position.
Good pitch there. Top of the zone, called strike on the outside corner. We lost the picture there. Hey, Lou. We lost the picture, I think. Yeah? Okay. Well, we're working on it. It's a test game. I know. We'll get it back. Don't worry. Villalobos walks. There we are. We're back. And there's our first base camera. Carol Dureste on the action camera there. Yes. Very good. We're back. We're going to change the ball. Didn't like the ball. So this will be the one and only defensive conference that is permitted. This is a new rule as well, Joe. And it's the Softball Canada rule that we've adopted in the ISC. This is not in the USA softball book, but it is in the Softball Canada book. We've adopted it. You're allowed that one defensive conference. That's it. And if the Expos have another one this inning, then it is an automatic ball on the batter. The only conference that Martin throws that away, but
Great
nice
grab.
pickup there by Tim Freeman as he's got to go to his knees to pick that out of the dirt. The only defensive conference they would be allowed now would be as if they get crossed up on signals. And the reason why, you ask, why did we bring that rule in, is to prevent the endless parade of catchers going out to have meetings with pitchers numerous times in an at-bat, as that dangerously close over there to Will Pelot. He dances out of the way of that one. And much like the rule changes that were brought in to Major League Baseball this year, it's an effort to speed up the game. And we don't have the pitch clock, not yet, I might say, but we don't have the pitch clock here in the ISC.
The teams have adapted to it, too, in our area at least.
Well, the Ontario teams, the Western Canada teams, I know play with it all season long. And a couple of the U.S. teams that came up to play Circle Tap came up to play in the Tavistock tournament. The Gremlins came up to play in the Hill United Chiefs tournament. They've seen it, and they'll be used to it by the second inning. And not that a couple of those teams were big offenders in the first place, but
Well, the two tournaments that we did on Softball Premier TV, the ISC qualifier and then followed up by the Chiefs Challenge, I don't recall that coming into play at all. Once it was, yeah, that's right. Once in Simcoe?
Yeah, in Simcoe, the Niagara Stompers had a meeting where I think the first baseman came over and wanted to meet with the pitcher after the catcher had already done it. And they rang up a ball on the batter, and that was the first, last, and only time that really came into play. The teams are aware of it, and they know that we can't do the endless meetings like we used to.
Well, a little bit of a learning curve for all.
In the dirt, ball 4. The Reapers now load the bases. Will Pelot coming to the plate. Good at bat there by Drew Perez to work Santala for a walk. And that's been an issue with Kirk Santala over the years, Joe. He can lose focus a little bit and will walk guys.
Yeah, he just lacking that killer instinct, I guess, something as just that final notch to put teams away.
It's upstairs. They asked no, says Trevor Topping.
All this has happened with 2 out, too.
Yeah, he had a strikeout to start the inning.
And fly out, too.
Got the pop-up, yeah.
Nice pitch. Just outside.
Yeah, just can't find the zone right now, and a good hitter's count here for Will Pelot. This one well hit, and forget about it. Deep left field and gone. A grand slam or a 3-run shot? 3-run shot for Will Pelot. They did have the bases loaded, did they? I couldn't tell from the chicken scratch there. Good job there by Will Pelot. He separated the hands too, Joe, on the grip and got absolutely all of that. You see the celebration line. Watch the hands will come apart here just a bit and squares that up, and a little bat flip even there from Pelot. Boom, and toss. 5-1 for the Reapers. come back with a changeup. Rick Thompson couldn't pull the trigger.
Those 2 back-to-back walks, really crucial.
Yeah, 2 out, and you've got to close the door. Like you said, you got to have that killer instinct. Oh, it's fouled off. I'll go out into the parking lot. Lacey A's from Oregon and Stoneyard from just down the road here in Wisconsin. Chopper on the infield. Backing up is Zach Berg, but he'll take that in the midriff and throw out Rick Thompson. Reapers out in front, 5-1. Dave Bearclaw will come to the plate for the ELMIRA EXPOS. He'll be followed by Jamie Wick and Scott Lelis for ELMIRA, Ontario. Luis Amaya from the AHI Reapers, Ace Home Inspections Reapers. From Kimberly, Wisconsin and Fox Valley. Not too far from here, Joe. What,
35, 40 minutes?
Yeah.
The way I drive, anyway.
Well, you are a bit of a lead foot, so it's probably 45 for us mere mortals. Yeah, you and Mario Andretti get there in 35, 40.
Yeah.
Just off the outside corner. Lacey A's and Stoneyard, they're scoreless top of the second inning. Auckland Blue Sox, Georgian Bay Giants, scoreless bottom of the first, so that one's just underway after that 11-inning marathon between the Grand Valley Expos and the Notre Dame clubs. Joe, Cody Gibbons pitches for the Georgian Bay Giants, and it's interesting, he was the only Team USA pitcher who didn't take the board yesterday in that U21 game. I'm going to guess that he's got the ball today. We can check that out on Game Changer. And you can see all the live scoring from the games that we're not broadcasting here on the ISC network. Go to iscfastpitch.com, scroll down a little bit to the score ribbon, and you can go to the live scoring. Georgian Bay are out in front 1-0 over the Auckland Blue Sox right now.
2 balls to Jamie Wick right now with 1 out. Pitch catching Jamie just on that inside corner of the plate. Amaya doing a good job with these Expo batters. Expo batters have stranded. Big strikeout called again on Jamie Wick for the second time in this game.
Yeah, they've already stranded 3 in each of the first 2 innings. That's a small village already.
Yes.
That's Toronto Blue Jay like.
Amaya with 7 strikeouts to this stage. 3 of them caught looking, so Expo bats have to get a little bit more aggressive. Especially with that 2-strike count. Scott Lelis now at the plate. Scott had that home run back in the second inning. The lone run for the Expos so far.
And a bit of oxygen afterwards, too. Inside the park home run, in case you missed it. Scott laced one down the left field line and just kept running. Keep running till the coach says stop.
Mm-hmm. Amaya is really working the outside corner of the plate. Especially those left-handed batters.
There's a little flare out over the head of the shortstop. That'll fall in for a base hit. Lelis 2 for 2, aboard with a single.
Now batting the catcher, number 64, Travis Martin.
Travis Martin to the plate. Travis, long-time catcher for the ELMIRA Expos. Joe, he's in the team management as well, and one of the genuine nicest guys in the game, too.
Yes.
Upstairs from Amaya. You know, the last thing you want to do if you're Luis Amaya here, Joe, is put a couple of guys on. You just took control of this game with that big grand slam home run by Will Pillow.
Yeah, you don't want to give that up.
Back to the outside corner. Swing and a miss. Travis Martin not too happy with himself. Down on strikes. And it is 5-1. HI Reapers out in front of the ELMIRA Expos. How confident are you in your organization's security posture? If your answer isn't 100%, you're not alone. Most organizations aren't doing enough to protect their data, and they know it. With Armitage technology, you can stop worrying about IT security issues so you can focus on moving your business forward. Our experienced staff monitor and maintain your IT infrastructure to keep your business running. Visit us at armitagetech.com and make your technology work for your business.
Whether you want to improve your grip in wet conditions or just to find the control you've been looking for, the Gorilla Gold Grip Enhancer has become the most recommended name in softball and in every sport where grip plays an important role. Gorilla Gold is the only grip enhancement approved by the ISC, ASA, and NCAA.
my name is Michael Holobradek. I'm from Czech Republic, playing for Hill United Chiefs, and I'm using Gorilla Gold.
My name is Pablo Miguel from Argentina, and for every game I use Gorilla Gold.
Hola, mi nombre es Samuel Villalbazo, pitcher de la selección de México y en todos mis juegos uso Gorilla Grip.
Hi, I'm Adam Folker. I play for the Hill United Chiefs from Australia, and I've been using Gorilla Gold my whole life. My name's Jack Vesco from Australia, and I can't pitch without Gorilla Gold.
Gorilla Gold, the feel for the game.
Here you see the famous water tower for the outskirts of Denmark, Wisconsin. Small town of a couple of thousand people, about 20 minutes outside of Green Bay. That's where we're staying, Joe Todd, in Green Bay. We make the drive over here on Highway NN to County Road X.
We'll be on that road tomorrow morning as we head to the Breakfast Hall of Fame.
Yeah, the Hall of Fame breakfast and induction ceremony. There you see Expos number 9. That's David Bubba Watson from Nova Scotia, making his ISC World Tournament debut. David Bubba, a hard-throwing right-hander, pitches in the Shooters Bar and Grill League. Justin Schofield, my good friend, our good friend, speaks very highly of Mr. Watson. He's been on the tournament circuit here this summer with the Expos. Good thrower, Joe, young thrower, was did very well in the Canada Summer Games. A surprise omission, I thought, from the U23 team that went down to Paraná in Argentina. Canada finished 5th and maybe could have used the talents of David Watson, but gets a ground out here for his first out in ISC World Tournament competition.
Great play by Scott Lelis to kind of go to his backhand and pick that ball up.
All back by Eric Riesterer. Watson, good pace. He'll step it up from Santana. He'll be a little bit closer in pace, I would say, Joe, to Luis Amaya. And he's got a good changeup, too. He's got the rise to drop and the change to go with it. So all the pitches, just has to master the craft, and there's no better place to do that than to see it. And competing against the guys, you think of all the guys on the Ontario tournament circuit, the Sean Clearys, the Schofields, Adam Folker, Michael Holobradek, that top 10 list that Luciano put together and was posted. All those guys playing on the Ontario tournament circuit by and large. I think other than Diaz and Roman Godoy, swing and a miss there at a rise while down goes Riesterer. Everybody else you do get to see on the tournament circuit through the ELMIRA Expos. So back to the top of the shop. This will be a test. Franco Martelato. Georgian Bay Giants extending their lead to 2-0 over the New Zealand Blue Sox. Blue Sox finished 3rd in that U21 or 21U event. We watched them play last night. Had some guys that swung the bat. It's now 4-0 as we get the updates coming across. Again, follow those games from Denmark on Game Changer. You may see some teams put up a stream of their own. We're going to encourage them to do that. We have the setup here at John Miller Field at Circle Tap. And this one is drilled out to center field, and 2 for 3 on the day is Martelato. Lacey A's a 1-0 lead over Stoneyard. That's now in the bottom of the 2nd inning. Called strike is somebody's a little desperate for attention behind us.
Yes.
They're working the horn. This one is lifted out to left center. Ranging back goes Dave Bearclaw, and he makes the grab on the track for the third out of the inning. So giving it a ride was Jeff Miller. Bearclaw equal to the task. Expos trailing 5-1. They'll come to the plate in the bottom of the fourth. Stay with us here on the ISC Network. Kevin Ward to lead things off for the Expos. Joe, they need some base runners. They've had a few in the first and second and even the third, but they just haven't been able to get that key hit to bring them around.
No, you just got to put two together.
First pitch swinging. Now it's going to be foul out of play. Joe, you might have a chance at this one. It falls behind us.
Kevin Ward got on by way of a single back in the the second inning. Stranded at third base, though.
It's foul down the left side. Eric Reisterer. Joe, 2 games coming up tonight. Circle Top Dukes will take on the Alvinston Aces. Scheduled for a 6 p.m. Central start.
The 2 local men's teams here.
And then the other local one is the Wander Springs Chippers. Wander Springs, a golf course in Greenleaf, Wisconsin, which is just another 5 minutes down the road. That is shares some joint ownership with the fellows at Circle Tap, Darren Derricks. So the Chippers were the second team that Darren is now sponsoring, and does such a great job here with the tournament, the Boys of Summer tournament that they have here, and supporting minor league softball, the girls organization here in Denmark. They play in the state championship. He gets the guys who are on the Dukes to help out with the coaching. Swing and a miss there. Down goes Ward. Back to the top of the shop, A.J. Moses. A.J. 1 for 2, tripled, and then reached on an error. And all the improvements, Joe, that they've done here and in Denmark up at Memorial Park, the village, I guess it is, the village of Denmark, as this is a little flare, and Amaya will cradle that into the breadbasket for the second out of the inning. Not what A.J. Moses would have been looking for.
No. Kind of jammed A.J.
Zach Bird to the plate. But when we came here in 2019 and prior to the winter and the spring, they completely reskinned the infield. They put down the clay to harden it up underneath. The topping is that pebbled effect that you get at the major league parks. I see they put down new grass in the outfield here in all the outfield positions. They sunk the dugouts. They put new roofs in, new fencing down the outfield lines past the 12-foot fencing. It's now 8 foot instead of the 4 foot that was there previously.
And they spent a lot of money in 2019 pouring all this cement.
Yes, they did. They created the concrete deck here around the infield at the main diamond, John Miller Field here. They brought in the bleachers, which will fill up. You see them in our home plate shot, not this center field shot. And there's called strike 3. 3 up, 3 down. Zach Berg on strikes. Luisa Maya taking control of this one for the Reapers. They're out in front, 5-1.
So to lead off the top of the 5th inning for the AHI Reapers, we'll go to the number 3 batter, Keenan Smith. Keenan's the designated player in this afternoon's game. AHI Reapers leading by a score of 5-1 over the ELMIRA EXPOS. That key hit, that grand slam home run by Will Paulo. David Bubba Watson now pitching for the ELMIRA EXPOS. Kirk Santella was the starter. Pitched the first 3. What I like about Watson is how composed he is on the mound. You can't tell if the score is 10-0 for him or 10-0 for his team. Or the other team, sorry, the opposing team. He just stays the same, even keel. Doesn't get too excited. Never see him questioning an umpire.
That is chopped up to left field, and I mean chopped. He went up and got that up in his eyes, Joe, and just raked that in the 5.5 hole. Watch the replay here. Look how up this pitch is. Just got on top of it.
Keenan Smith with his 3rd hit of the game.
Yeah, nobody's fooling Keenan today.
Alejandro Villalobos. Villalobos. Now at the plate. Villalobos struck out back in the 1st inning and walked and scored back in the 3rd.
That was the changeup from Watson. It was up and away. Did you buy a 50-50 ticket?
Yes, I did.
I thought so. You're a big supporter.
Yes.
That's over the glove of Tim Freeman. That's going to make its way out to the left. Keenan Smith will go coast to coast into 3rd, and up to 2nd goes Villalobos. And hits this hard, Joe, but I thought maybe that was a play for Freeman.
Yes, I'm not sure. He just didn't have his glove ready.
Yeah, we're blocked out a little bit. He just missed it on the replay, but I think Tim Freeman would like a do-over on that one.
Drew Perez now at the plate, second baseman for the Reapers. Two runners in scoring position here. Nobody out. Big test here for Watson.
Yeah, you took the words right out of my mouth. We'll see what David Watson can dig a little deep here and close the door on the Reapers. They've already got this 5-1 lead. The Expos don't need to dig any deeper of a hole.
Good grab there by Travis Martin. Good center field shot there right by it. Good camera view there. Nice rise ball. Drew Perez went after it, but fouled it off. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Sorry, the other way around. Ball popped up in the air. One out the right fielder, Danny Martin. Martin firing a shot out to home plate, but ball didn't reach home plate. Cut off by Scott Lelis, and Keenan Smith will come in for the 6th run for the HI Reapers, scoring on the sacrifice fly by Drew Perez.
Well, that's a good at-bat for Drew Perez. Did the job just deep enough to be able to score Smith from third. I think, Joe, maybe the wiser play for Danny Martin there, who's not an experienced outfielder. He normally just pitches or DHs. They've got him out in right field today. I think really, Joe, the throw should have gone into second base to try and keep Villalobos there, but came down the first base side.
Yeah. Well, there's many ways of scoring from third base now.
Good pitch there from Watson. Ties up number 26, Will Pelot, fresh off that grand slam a couple innings back.
Pelot got frozen there by that rise ball. Pelot going down on strikes for the 2nd out of the inning. Be the 2nd strikeout for Watson. Rick Thompson now at the plate for the HI Reapers. Rick's 1 for 2 so far. Single back in the 2nd and a ground out to the shortstop back in the 3rd. It's important the Expos strand that runner over there. Give themselves a chance. Think about this situation. This tournament's potentially going to play for 2 or 3 more days for this team, so they got to regroup.
Well, and hopefully longer if you're an Expo fan or an Expo. You want to be here as long as possible, whether it's in the World Tournament or in ISC 2. If you go 0-2 or 1-2, chances are you're going to drop into what we call ISC 2, which is the B bracket, if you will, the B division, and that's a standalone double knockout tournament. That will start Tuesday morning, again, for those teams that go 0-2 or 1-2 in the World Tournament. That ISC 2 bracket, Joe, will culminate here on John Miller Field Thursday at 2 p.m. We'll bring you that ISC 2 championship game here on the ISC network. Laced out to right field. Danny Martin goes back, clanks off the glove. Thompson flies around second and into third standing up. And Joe, a little bit of inexperience out there. He turned the wrong way. And we talked about that at the beginning of the game. We didn't see Danny Martin a lot out in the field. You'll see him kind of get tied up, reaches up, and goes off the heel of the glove. And Thompson into third.
Well, I think they're trying to hide Danny Martin out in right field potentially, but a lot of balls have gone out in his direction. He didn't read it very well off the bat. That's where he got beat. Those first 2 steps are important for an outfielder.
If you're not a regular outfielder, as you said, and how you break on the ball is just about everything, especially on a hard line drive hit right at you. Those are the hardest ones to judge. So Watson's come on and given up a pair here in the 5th. And there's the good change-up, and way out in front was Brian Hansen. Called strike 3. Watson gets out of the inning, but the Expos give up a pair, and they now trail 7-1. The Reapers. Joe Todd looking pretty good right here, right now.
Leadoff batter for the Elmira Expos into the bottom of the 5th inning will be the third baseman, Tim Freeman. Tim's 0 for 1 so far, got walked back in the 1st inning, but stranded at second base and struck out back in the 2nd inning, so his 3rd time at the plate.
New catcher, Joe, for the Reapers, Josh Bailey. Now behind the dish as Villalobos gives way. Out to center, and that is reeled in by Jeff Miller for the first out of the inning. For everybody joining us, thank you for stepping in for our unofficial first broadcast on the ISC network. We're about 95% of the way there with the setups. A couple of things still that we're going to work on in between games, and we'll get to the official part of the schedule. We're quite happy to bring you this one between the AHI Reapers, the Elmira Expos. Blair Sedford, Joe Todd, Luciano Lafrano, Carol Dureste, broadcast team here on the ISC network for the 77th annual ISC World Tournament at Circle Tap in Denmark, Wisconsin. Boy, Joe, if you get one up in the air in center field, there's a nice breeze that is blowing straight on out of John Miller Field here. You got to get one up in the air. This guy can do it. Danny Martin at the plate, but two-hopper hits Drew Perez right in the chest. And Dan Martin is aboard on an error. Boy, that took a high hop on Perez, but he was backpedaling from the get-go, and you can't do that. You've got to charge that ball. And
he sat on his heels.
Yeah, it played him rather than him playing the ball. So Martin aboard on the error. Dave Bearclaw to the dish. Dave hopped out. Maya misses downstairs. It's clouded over here a little bit, Joe, and it's taken a bit of an edge off the sunshine.
Sure, we lost a few degrees there.
Fouled right into the screen. About 24 degrees Celsius. That is low 70s in Fahrenheit. Very comfortable here at the park. Amaya's got the long sleeves on, not because he's cold, but because they're compression sleeves. Throws a 45-footer. This bounces right in front of the plate, and up to second goes Dan Martin. Those are a catcher's best friend.
And with a new catcher, Josh Bailey, coming in.
Yeah,
he
welcome
just
to the
greets
game,
it.
Josh. Yeah, well, you see it there, 21 right now, currently 78 Fahrenheit. 78? 21? That doesn't seems off, but we'll have to work on that conversion. Called a strike. 2 balls, 2 strikes, is it? I think so.
Yes. 3-2.
Oh, here's a little bleeder in front of the plate. Going to be a tough play. Scooped and safe as Bearclaw shows some wheels getting down to first base. Brian Hansen had to come get that. Turn, flipped it to Perez, but I just can't get Dave Bearclaw. So going up to third on the play was Dan Martin. And a little bit of life here for the Expos. 1 down and runners on the corners.
I think if Hansen's throw would have been a little more direct to Perez at second base, that runner might have been out. But throw was a little bit on the outside of the play.
Yeah, had to reach for it. Jamie Wick, designated player for the Expos, to the plate. That's chop foul by Wick.
Wick with back-to-back looking strikeouts.
Yeah, I'm sure he's come to the plate with one thing in his mind: don't get caught looking again. He's up there hacking, that's for sure.
Yes.
Swinging first 2 pitches. To Hopper, out to Perez. They go over to second, and they force Bearclaw out at second with that sidearm flip. Dan Martin scores on the play, so make it 7-2. Fielder's choice and an RBI. Do you get the RBI in the fielder's choice?
I do not, and I
You're
looked
harsh,
that up.
though, too.
No, but I looked it up. I noticed in the Blue Jay game the other night, Buck Martinez said that you get an RBI, and I looked it up in my scorekeeping manual, and you do not.
No, I didn't think so. On a fielder's choice, you don't usually get the RBI.
No.
Yeah. I believe you are correct. I'm only teasing you.
And Buck, you're wrong.
Not often that occurs. Swing and a miss there by Scott Lelis as he chases upstairs.
Well, Lelis is a tough out at the plate. Always has been. Played against him for a lot of years.
Called a strike on the outside corner.
I'm surprised he's batting in that spot. It's that low in the order, personally, but he always puts the ball in play. Not very often he strikes out.
On the move, throw down, and not in time. It short hopped the bag. Good play there by Perez to keep the ball in front of him. Stolen base for Jamie Wick. Still has some wheels after all these years. I remember Jamie Wick coming up with the Tavistock Merchants in the old ISC 2 days back in 2004, 2005. It's fouled off the glove and out of play.
Jamie's dad, Randy, played Legends up to a couple of years ago. Real good ball player.
It is often a family affair in our game. There's a line shot right over to Drew Perez. He takes a step or two to his right and pulls that one down for the final out of the inning. The Expos score 1. Reapers coming to the plate out in front, 7-2. On to the 6th we go. There you see the scoreboard, the inside of the bar here at Circle Tap. Not too many people are there right now. We'll tell you about the upcoming game at 6 p.m. Circle Tap Dukes taking on the Alvinston Aces. Devin McCullough gets the ball for Circle Tap Dukes. For the Alvinston Aces, Hami Matazalukwa, Botswana. He will take on the Circle Tap Dukes. Won't be the first time they faced each other, Joe. They played at Tavistock earlier this year. The Dukes coming away with the win in that one. Just off the outside corner.
Pinch hitter for the AHI Reapers, Mason Van Rossum, now at the plate to lead off the top of the 6th inning.
Luke.
So his first look at David Watson. He's batting for Eric Reisterer.
Eric's had a bit of a tough afternoon. A couple of Ks. Just couldn't solve this Expos pitching staff today. But his teammates have, particularly Will Pillow. Swing and a miss.
Van Rossum kind of doing that swing in his head, saying, how come I didn't follow through with that arm?
It chases that outside drop ball, and that pitch, that's a real good pitch from Watson. And Joe, I was just thinking that I think sometimes David gets a little too much of the plate. You see here in the replay, that's to the corner. But I think where he gets into trouble, a lot of guys get into trouble, is when they leave that ball up and over the plate. And in his league down in Nova Scotia, he might get away with that pitch because of his velocity.
Not at this level.
No, but on the tournament circuit, you leave it out over the plate, even with velocity, and you're going to get tagged. And that's the adjustment that I think a young guy like David Watson is going to have to make. There's a chopper right through the middle. That's a good bit of hitting there. Ortolato has had himself a day. 3 for 4, a couple singles, a triple, run scored.
Doing his job as a leadoff batter.
Mm-hmm. But, you know, you listen to the podcast, Dust Up, and we listened to the episode with Andrew Kirkpatrick on our drive down here, and he talked about the changes that he had to make in his game, and it's not uncommon for youngsters to have to do that kind of thing as we get a ground out to Lelis at first.
Yeah, it's a big learning curve when a new pitcher comes in to that type of upgrade of an exposure to a higher league. He will learn from every experience that he puts out on the mound.
I thought that was such a great episode with Andrew Kirkpatrick, as the guys spent a bit of time talking about that first year for him in the ISC, and as much success as Andrew had, he talked about basically learning on the job as this one is lifted out to center field. Moses will track back a couple of steps and haul that one in for the final out. We'll pick up that stories. We'll go to the bottom of the sixth. ELMIRA EXPOS coming back up, trailing by 5.
Small town USA, the birthplace of the great sport of men's fast-pitch softball. Nowhere more so than Denmark, Wisconsin. Well, softball fans, it's back. The ISC World Tournament is coming back to Denmark and historic Circle Tap Park. August 12 to 19th of 2023. The best of the best in men's fast-pitch land in Wisconsin for 8 days of top-level softball action. Located just minutes from everything downtown Green Bay has to offer. Fans will be able to catch all the ISC action, both at the newly refinished fields in Denmark and at John Miller Field in world-famous Circle Tap Park, where you can enjoy the games along with great food and drink specials. Find ISC Fast Pitch or the 2023 World Tournament links on social media. Or visit iscfastpitch.com to find everything from schedules to info on accommodations. See you at the park.
The New York Gremlins congratulate our own Dr. Bob Neidick on his induction to the ISC Hall of Fame as this year's recipient of the Bob Welby Memorial Recognition of Service Award. Dr. Bob is a 4-time ISC World Champ, winning his first 2 titles with the Kitchener River Shark Twins in 2008 and 2009. His second 2 came with us in 2018 and 2019. And he says, we're not done. Bob started in the game when he was 17 in Pennsylvania and played in a national championship.
Travis Martin will lead things off for ELMIRA EXPOS. They'll go 8-9-1, and we'll get a new 1. His first pitch swinging and fouling that off goes Travis Martin. A.J. Moses coming out. Colton Quip will step into the center field spot for the Expos in the leadoff spot. Bit of an awkward swing there from Travis Martin. Didn't really commit to it to the last second. Just kind of waved at it. Didn't really take a step.
No, he hasn't killed a lot of flies in his day. That's a bad swing.
That one's off the corner. That's a good look by Martin to let that pitch go. Joe, the last time we were here, 2019, Luis Amaya with the Toronto Batmen was the Kevin Herlihy Newcomer of the Year award recipient. That's going to be a foul ball off the foot of Martin. He'll shake that out. We hand out the Kevin Herlihy Award every year to the best newcomer. Amaya, I think, went 3-2 that year for the Batmen, Joe. They finished top 6, if memory serves, and he really made a good impression in his debut that year. Gets Martin to chase the drop on the outside corner. Travis will like that at bat back when he reflects on his game. You'll see the good pitch location here. Off the outside corner and not close is Travis Martin. Ground ball out to the shortstop, Franco Ortolato. He'll flip to first for the second out of the inning. Kevin Ward. 1 pitch and a second out for the Expos. Colton Quip will get a chance to take a look at Luis Amaya. I think this is Colton's debut, Joe, is it not?
Yes, in the IC?
Yes.
Yes, it is.
Another second-generation player. The son of Kevin Quip, longtime Mitchell Met. Swings at that first pitch. Got a chance to talk with Colton while we were in between games in Simcoe. Good young kid. Knows that he's here to learn with the Expos this year and get the exposure to the ISC and soak up everything that he can. Pretty good pitcher to face, Luis Amaya, originally from Venezuela. Lives in the southern U.S. now. Is he in Texas, Luciano? Venezuela? He's back in Venezuela? Is he? Okay. I thought he was in the southern U.S.
So Amaya's done a great job so far at the plate for this HI Reapers. Just the 1 run given up. Sorry, 2 runs. And 5 hits, 11 strikeouts, 2 walks, 1 hit batsman. But he's had some big strikeouts in crucial situations.
There's a chopper up the middle, and Perez got a glove on it, but a base hit for Colton Quip. We won't give him the ball like they do in the major leagues,
No.
but he'll be able to take that one back to the bank. So a 2-out base hit. Joe Lacey A's a 3-0 lead now over Stoneyard. And the other game up at Denmark Memorial Park, Georgian Bay 4-2 out in front of the New Zealand Blue Sox from Auckland. The third place finishers in that 21 and under tournament. That was won by the Czech 18 and under squad. They've been on tour here the last couple of weeks in the central U.S., the Midwest. They played at the USA National last weekend. They beat San Antonio Glowworm in an upset. They were quite chuffed about that, and they were quite thrilled to be the winners in this inaugural ISC 21 and under event put on by Tim Lyon and some USA softball folks in conjunction with the ISC and Circle Tap. 6 teams were here. USA 21, USA 18. Swing and a miss there by Zach Berg. There was a Wisconsin 21 and under team. And then the Czechs, New Zealand, and Australia also had a team here.
Great to see.
Yeah, it absolutely was, especially the international contingent. That's a long way to come from both New Zealand and Australia. As Amaya made short work of Zach Berg, they strand that runner out at first. Another one stranded by the Expos. The Reapers, 7-2, will go to top of the 7th.
The New York Gremlins congratulate our own Dr. Bob Neidick on his induction to the ISC Hall of Fame as this year's recipient of the Bob Welby Memorial Recognition of Service Award. Dr. Bob is a 4-time ISC World Champ, winning his first 2 titles with the Kitchener River Shark Twins in 2008 and 2009. His second 2 came with us in 2018 and 2019, and he says, we're not done. Bob started in the game when he was 17 in Pennsylvania and played in a national championship in 1996. His first ISC World Tournament was 2004 in Fargo, North Dakota. Since 2012, he's been a Gremlins co-sponsor, and we couldn't be prouder of him to be recognized for all of his contributions to the game.
Congratulations, Dr. Bob!
For the best Bear Tent banter on the airwaves, listen to Dust Up with Hilly and Lolly. Here's some of the biggest stars chatting with 2 of Newfoundland's own, Jason Hill and Steve Mullally. It's unfiltered and uncensored. Dust Up with Hilly and Lolly, wherever you get your podcasts. Yes, bye.
Wait for the music.
Josh Bailey now the leadoff batter for the HI Reapers. We head into the top of the 7th inning. This will be Josh Bailey's first plate appearance. Oh, Villalobos has gone back in. Re-entered the game, sorry. Am I corrected?
Are you?
I am now.
Okay. There you go. That's not a bad gig, eh? If you can get it.
Yeah.
Send somebody else in to do all the dirty work behind the plate, and then you get to swing.
Yeah. He's probably asking for a refund right now, I believe.
Stay with us on the ISC network for 2 more games coming up. Circle Top Dukes and the Alvinston Aces. And then we'll bring you the Wander Springs Chippers that's in the nightcap tonight. They'll take on Nate's Auto from the Stevens Fastpitch League in Pennsylvania. Got a great league going down there, Joe, with 4 or 5 teams they put on streaming on a weekly basis. This one well hit and onto the tent. And Villalobos comes back into the game, Joe, and goes yard.
Now I can see why he re-entered.
Yes. Opposite field home run, some pop there, and right into that green and white tent over the flags. And it is a 20-foot high fence across the outfield here on John Miller Field. Here's the swing. Just went with the pitch and some good power. I like the way he kept the hands back on that swing and did it inside out.
Well, a lot of upper body strength there to drive that ball that far.
So 8-2 for the Reapers. Martin is going to try and get back and try to have one more last word. Steve Korovo is going to reel him in and pull him back to the plate. Drew Perez. A lot of right-handed batters this game, Joe. The left side's hardly got a footprint in it. In tight from Watson. Joe, we were talking about that Stevens League down in Pennsylvania. They stream all their games, doing what they can to get the game out there in social media. They've got some great sponsors. They've got teams that go to tournaments all across the Eastern Seaboard. RM Kurtz is here. Nate's Auto Fisher are from that league as well. There are other teams in that league that play in other divisions.
Well, I'm pretty sure in 2019, Fishers were here
Fisher,
as their own.
Well, yeah, they just added a sponsor with Nate's Auto. Yes, you're absolutely correct. Fishers were here. Kurtz was at the 2021 event in Eldridge. They played Circle Top on opening night, and it was a battle. Eric Chaparro, who was pitching for Kurtz that year, he put on a show that night, and Manuel Godoy, somewhere in the 9th or 10th inning, ended up winning it with a walk-off home run, but it was a struggle.
It is a beautiful part of the country. Toured that in my agricultural working days.
So the walk to Perez brings up Will Pillow. That big grand slam home run in the 3rd is a significant part of the 6-run margin for the AHI Reapers. And he pops this one up to center. AJ Moses back in defensively for the Expos makes that out. Watson pours in a strike.
Josh Bailey now at the plate for HI Reapers. Josh must have made an internal switch with the left fielder on that defensive inning.
Yeah, maybe they moved Villalobos around or something.
Yep.
Yeah, because he's batting in Rick Thompson's spot. Snap throw down to first as Bailey chases up and out of the zone for strike 3. Perez gets dirty getting back.
Now batting the first baseman, number 21, Brian Hansen.
Brian Hansen to the plate. Got a ground out sandwiched around a couple of strikeouts. Joe, we got a busy schedule here on the ISC network this week. We're going to bring you, well, if you count this one, somewhere in the neighborhood of 26, 27 games overall through the course of the week. 6 o'clock, 8 o'clock tonight coming up. Tomorrow, we are scheduled for 1, 3, 6, and 8. We'll have the cameras on for the opening ceremonies at 5 o'clock. That's always a colorful parade of teams as they'll make their way onto the field from that center field gate.
A must watch if you've never seen one. They're really well done, and the host always does a great job with them.
Well, they're going to have the PA announcer from the Green Bay Packers, the voice of the Packers, will MC the opening ceremonies tomorrow. So we'll look forward to that. Monday, we're going to be on the air at 12:02 and then 5 and 7. All these are local time, so Central Time. Adjust for your time zone accordingly. Tuesday, we'll drop down to a couple of winners bracket games in the evening, 5 p.m., 7 p.m. here Central Time. Same with Wednesday, 5 and 7. Thursday, we'll be back with the ISC 2 championship game at 2 p.m. Then 5 and 7 for ISC winners bracket action. Friday is a big day. We'll dip into the losers bracket for some games the morning and into the afternoon, and then we'll culminate on Friday evening with the winner bracket final at 7 p.m. Saturday, 4 big games. Championship game, the biggest one, 7 p.m. scheduled start time. A week from tonight, Joe, who do you got in that game?
Well, I guess the number 1 selection will be the New York Gremlins.
Hard to argue against the New York Gremlins this year. If you are a Formula One fan, you'll understand this analogy. The New York Gremlins are Max Verstappen and Red Bull. They are a second ahead of everybody else. Bear Creek Express beat them in their very first game of the season, 3-1. They haven't lost since. They've won every tournament that they've played in. That included the Chiefs Challenge, the New York City Peligro Cup. They played here at the Boys of Summer. They played in Ashland. They played in Elkland. They won the USA National last week in Mankato, Minnesota. They have been unstoppable. They've got great pitching. Line shot over the head of Zach Berg. Here comes Drew Perez around to score and make it 9-2 Joe Todd, just as you predicted.
That was Eric Riesterer that re-entered the game and had that RBI single.
But Joe, the Gremlins, a 29-1 record coming into the ISC World Tournament.
Very small blemish.
Well, like we said, it was their first game of the year, and they have avenged that loss. Watson in with a strike. I'm impressed the way that the Reapers have swung the bat here tonight, Joe. They have shown some patience. They've taken some walks when they can, and they have produced with runners in scoring position. Swing and a miss there on the changeup.
12 hits so far in the game.
Yeah, they have pounded the ball hard. Nobody more than this guy, Franco Ortolato. He's got 3 of those 12. Looking for a 4-hit afternoon. That's a good day in anybody's book. So consensus, we're giving the Gremlins a likely spot in the ISC championship game. They've been in that championship game going back to 2018. 18-19 they won. Of course, we didn't play in 2020 for reasons everybody knows about. 2021, as this one is a fair ball down the left side into the corner. Here comes one, getting the wave. Here comes another. That will make it 11-2. For the AHI Reapers. This one had eyes as it gets in between Tim Freeman in the bag and all the way down to the corner. The Gremlins dropped the last 2 ISC World Tournament Championships games, losing to Hill United Chiefs in 2021, and then last year 3-0 on the wrong side, if you're a Gremlin fan, to the Kitchener Twins. Huemo Mata throwing 150 pitch shutout.
Marshall Cronk had a week.
He did indeed, leading the Twins to the promised land. That was the first ISC World Tournament Championship for every single guy on that Twins roster, including the coaching staff too. Something special indeed. Most of that group making their way to combine, and this one is laced out to right, and that is just foul. Boy, that must have just been a millimeter on the right side as we look at it, the right side of the foul pole. It's the foul pole's in red down the line. You would have had a glimpse of it in the distance from that home plate shot. Come back with the changeup. Good call by Travis Martin to get Jeff Miller out of the front foot, but the Reapers push across 4 more. They'll take an 11-2 lead into the bottom of the 7th. EXPOS chasing a lot.
Batting third base, number 12, Tim Freeman.
to get something rolling here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Tim, 0 for 2 so far with a walk back in the 1st inning, strikeout in the 2nd, and a fly out in the center field in the 5th inning. A great job containing these bats. 6 hits so far for the ELMIRA Expos. 12 strikeouts by Amaya.
Well, Joe, you go back to those first 2 innings. They stranded the bases loaded twice, and that, that was the difference, right?
Yeah.
You cash some of those. This is a completely different ball game, but the Expos just couldn't get that hit when they needed it. Conversely, Luis Amaya able to shut the door and keep things under control.
Amaya didn't like that call, I believe. Steve Corvo, the home plate umpire, has final say. Freeman with a drive out to the left fielder, but a great pickup. Right field, sorry. But a great play by Will Paulo to pick up the first out of the inning.
Yeah, hit it well. Just good play out there by the right fielder, as you said.
Ball was tailing on him, too. Dan Martin looking for his first hit of the game. Dan's 0 for 3 so far. 2 strikeouts. 1 caught looking, 1 swinging. Got on by way of an error back in the 5th inning and scored the 2nd run for the ELMIRA Expos.
Joe, the out-of-town scoreboard. Lacey A's up 4-0 on Stoneyard, and Georgian Bay continues to lead over the Blue Sox 4-2 in that game now. Luis Amaya takes the glasses off. That's a rarity. You don't often see him without the sunglasses on. He wears those in night games. And just as he does that, the sun makes a reappearance here in John Miller Field.
Two balls, 2 strikes to Martin. Martin with a drive out to right field again. Ball's tailing again, but foul down that line.
A couple tough plays down there for the right fielders, and guys are picking on the right fielders down there.
I'd like Dan to go that way, though. Actually, he's a fairly strong pull hitter.
Yeah, well, he's just done it again there too, and you're right. He normally is center to left.
Amaya's doing a good job throwing off the timing.
Ball in from the outfield. I guess Amaya wasn't interested in that one.
Nice drop ball there by Amaya. Sitting down Dan Martin for the 3rd time this afternoon. Amaya with his 13th strikeout of the game. Dave Barraclough now at the plate.
Joe, want to say hi to Norman Ames, watching over in Europe. Norman, thanks for joining us.
Staying up late, Norman.
Joe, the Dutch team qualifying for the next round, I guess it is, of the World Cup qualifying stage 2. They just had the European Championships. Czechs took that one over Denmark, but the Netherlands come up with a win over, I believe it was Belgium, and take the third qualifying spot for that next round. So congratulations to the Netherlands team that Norman Ames is a part of. Lots of international softball on the calendar the next few years. You've got qualifying stages for the World Cup next year. Then you've got the actual World Cup 2025. Prince George in Saskatchewan here in Central Canada. And then you'll have the World Games, where men's softball will be part of that event, a multi-sport event, and men's softball will be a part, along with the women. 6 teams. And if you didn't hear the news, the 2025 ISC World Tournament will be a couple of weeks earlier than it normally is held. Will run from July 26th to August 2nd in 2025 at a venue to be determined, likely this week. But due to the overlap with the World Games, and to give our athletes the opportunity to be a part of such a big showcase like that, the World Tournament being moved up a couple of weeks, and the USA Softball National Championship will also be moved up around that. It won't impact the Canadian National Championship, but I imagine the European events will be moved around the schedule as well.
A lot of juggling that year, but well worth it. Same thing happened back in 2015.
Little multi-hopper out to Perez. The flip to first. That'll be the ball game. Everybody, thanks for joining us on this test broadcast. Your final score, the AHI Reapers from Kimberley, Wisconsin, 11. ELMIRA, Ontario, EXPOS, 2. Luis Amaya, the winning pitcher. Kirk Santala takes the loss. David Watson on in relief for the EXPOS. Joe, we're going to reset. Come back with us in about 15 minutes' time. Circle Tap Dukes, Alvinston Aces. We're set for Joe Todd, Luciano Lafrano, Carol DeReste, coming up on the ISC Network. Thanks for joining us.
Small town USA, the birthplace of the great sport of men's fast-pitch softball. Nowhere more so than Denmark, Wisconsin. Well, softball fans, it's back. The ISC World Tournament is coming back to Denmark and historic Circle Tap Park. August 12th to 19th of 2023. The best of the best in men's fast-pitch land in Wisconsin for 8 days of top-level softball action. Located just minutes from everything downtown Green Bay has to offer. Fans will be able to catch all the ISC action, both at the newly refinished fields in Denmark and at John Miller Field in world-famous Circle Tap Park, where you can enjoy the games along with great food and drink specials. Find ISC Fast Pitch or the 2023 World Tournament links on social media. Or visit iscfastpitch.com to find everything from schedules to info on accommodations.